Today, I want to walk you through 12 unusual signals that suggest your body has flipped its metabolic switch and is now running on stored fat instead of sugar, even when the number on the scale refuses to move. Most people assume that if the scale is not dropping, nothing is happening. That assumption is wrong, and it costs people their motivation at the very moment their body is finally changing for the better. Before we begin, a quick reminder that this video is for educational purposes only, and is not a replacement for personalized advice from your doctor. The very first clue often shows up the moment you open your eyes in the morning. If you notice a slightly metallic or oddly fruity flavor on your tongue when you wake up, that can mean your liver spent the night breaking down stored body fat. As fat cells release their contents, the body produces ketones, and one of those compounds, acetone, is exhaled through your lungs. The result is a breath odor that some people describe as similar to overripe fruit or nail polish remover. The good news is that as your metabolism becomes more skilled at using fat as a fuel source, this smell naturally fades within a few weeks. The second clue involves your skin. When fat cells begin to shrink, they release more than just energy. They also let go of substances that have been stored inside them for years, including environmental pollutants, certain heavy metals, and other waste products. Because your liver has to filter all of this, the scale can stall while your body quietly does the cleanup work in the background. Some of these compounds leave through the skin, which is why people sometimes notice temporary breakouts, faint rashes, or unexplained itching during the first 3 to 4 weeks of consistent fat loss. Adding bitter foods such as fresh lemon juice, arugula, dandelion greens, and apple cider vinegar can give your liver extra support in clearing out the waste, which usually translates into clearer skin within a month. The third common signal is an unexpected dryness in the mouth. When you cut back on carbohydrates or reduce your overall calorie intake, your body taps into glycogen, which is your stored form of sugar. Every gram of glycogen you burn is bound to roughly 3 to 4 grams of water, so as your glycogen reserves drop, that water gets released as well. You may feel thirstier than normal, or wake up with a parched mouth, and you will likely visit the bathroom more often. This is actually an excellent sign that real change is happening underneath the surface. To stay comfortable, drink mineral-rich water throughout the day and consider an electrolyte mix to replace what you are losing. That same fluid shift leads directly into the next sign, which is muscle twitching. As water exits the body, essential minerals follow. Potassium, magnesium, and sodium can all drop quickly, and when they do, you might notice a flutter beneath one eye, or your calf or foot might cramp when you stretch in a certain direction. While annoying, these little spasms are another reliable indicator that fat metabolism is now in motion and that your body is shedding its old water reserves. To restore balance, include more leafy greens, avocados, pumpkin seeds, and salmon in your meals. And do not be afraid to season your food properly with Himalayan or Celtic sea salt to keep sodium levels topped up. A small daily electrolyte drink can also remove these symptoms within a day or two. Sign number 5 is a genuinely pleasant one, which is a noticeable reduction in hunger. If you can travel from breakfast all the way to your next meal without that desperate, gnawing urge to snack, your body is most likely pulling energy from stored fat. Once ketones start circulating in the bloodstream, blood sugar evens out, and those familiar mid-afternoon crashes and sugar cravings begin to fade. You start eating because it is genuinely time to eat, not because your body is panicking for a quick fix of glucose. Closely tied to this is the sixth signal, which is sharper mental focus. Many people report that the dreaded afternoon brain fog disappears once they are reliably burning fat. Ideas come together more easily, concentration lasts longer, and creative work feels less effortful. This happens because ketones are an exceptionally clean fuel source for your brain. Research suggests that the brain extracts roughly 22% more energy from ketones than from glucose, which helps explain the mental clarity so many people describe once they fully adapt to running on fat rather than sugar. The seventh sign is a shrinking waistline, even when the scale will not budge. This is incredibly common, especially in people over 40 whose muscles may have weakened or atrophied over the years. As your nutrition improves and you start moving more, your body can rebuild lean tissue at the same time it is shedding fat. Since muscle is denser than fat, the scale may not reflect what is truly happening to your shape. A simple measuring tape around the waist every couple of weeks gives a far more honest picture of your progress. When your trousers feel looser around the middle and you begin to see definition returning, fat loss is absolutely taking place. If the extra fiber you are eating leaves you feeling bloated, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in water before meals can ease that discomfort. The eighth sign involves your digestion. More than half of people experience some shift in their bowel habits when they begin burning fat for fuel, whether that means slower transit time or, in the opposite case, things moving along more quickly than usual. This happens because your gut bacteria and digestive enzymes need time to adjust to your new way of eating. Think of it as your microbiome rewriting its instruction manual. Give your gut anywhere from a week to a month to find its new rhythm. Patience during this stage genuinely pays off and is one of the most overlooked parts of any transition. Ninth on the list is increased sweating. As your metabolism ramps up, your body generates more internal heat through a process called thermogenesis. To prevent overheating, your sweat glands switch on more readily, even during fairly mild activity. You may notice damp palms, a sweatier hairline during a normal walk, or a warmer feeling overall. This is most obvious during workouts, but often shows up during everyday activities such as cleaning the house, walking the dog, or climbing stairs. The 10th sign is the opposite, and it can feel a little paradoxical. You may also start to feel colder than usual when you are sitting still. Body fat does more than just store energy. It also serves as insulation, keeping your core temperature stable in cool environments. As your body composition changes and that fat layer thins out, you lose some of that built-in warmth. When you are at rest and your metabolic rate dips slightly to conserve fuel, you might reach for a sweater earlier than you used to. Interestingly, dressing a little warmer can give your fat-burning metabolism a small extra boost. The 11th sign is unusual sleep behavior, especially waking up somewhere between 1 and 3 in the morning. When your diet changes, blood sugar can dip during the night, which prompts your adrenal glands to release cortisol to push glucose back up. That cortisol surge can pull you out of deep sleep and leave you feeling oddly wired in the small hours. Do not panic if this happens because it usually settles within a couple of weeks. Once your body becomes truly efficient at pulling fuel from fat stores, you often find your sleep grows deeper and more restorative than it ever was on a sugar-based diet. The 12th sign appears as soon as your feet hit the floor in the morning. You may notice that you climb out of bed feeling looser and less achy than you used to. Ketones have a genuine anti-inflammatory effect throughout the body, and as inflammation calms down, joints move more freely and muscles feel more elastic. Stepping outside for 30 to 40 minutes of morning sunlight also raises your vitamin D levels, which further reduces inflammation and supports tissue recovery. One bonus sign worth mentioning is a gradually slower resting heart rate. When your mitochondria become skilled at running on fat, your cells produce more energy with far less metabolic stress. Adrenaline output also drops because your body is no longer constantly chasing the next hit of sugar. That allows your nervous system to settle into a calmer parasympathetic state. A healthy resting heart rate typically lands somewhere between 60 and 70 beats per minute, and most people see a measurable improvement within 1 to 3 weeks of consistent fat loss. Now that you understand the signals, let me explain why the scale can be so stubborn. In the first week or two of any new plan, most people see dramatic drops because the body is offloading water alongside glycogen. After that, the scale often plateaus and many people lose hope at the exact moment fat loss is genuinely accelerating. This stall is not a sign that fat burning has stopped. Your body is often rebuilding muscle at the same time it is trimming fat, which keeps your weight steady on paper while completely transforming your appearance underneath. Exercise can also create tiny tears in muscle fibers, leading to brief inflammation and water retention that mask your progress on the scale. A far more reliable way to track your transformation is to measure your waist with a tape, take photographs in similar lighting once a month, and pay attention to how your clothes actually fit. Let me also address how to avoid feeling drained during this transition. The first 1 to 2 weeks of any new eating pattern can feel rough as your body relearns how to burn fat rather than sugar. Hydration is essential, and so is sodium. Adding a small pinch of sea salt to your water helps your cells absorb fluid efficiently, which keeps energy production strong throughout the day. Your body will also burn through more B vitamins as it converts fat into usable fuel, so it is normal to feel a little tired in the early stages. To replenish those vitamins, lean on foods such as unfortified nutritional yeast, sunflower seeds, eggs, and good quality red meat. Do not overlook fiber either. People who reduce their carbohydrates often forget that they still need plenty of soluble fiber to support digestion and gut health. Chia seeds, ground flax, psyllium husk, ripe avocados, and berries are all excellent choices. At the same time, steer clear of refined starches such as white bread, breakfast cereals, pastries, and processed flour products, which spike blood sugar and cause fat burning. Soluble fiber feeds the beneficial bacteria in your colon, which in turn produce short-chain fatty acids that strengthen your metabolism and reduce uncomfortable side effects during the adjustment phase. Finally, let me share how to actually speed things up. Your body is at its peak fat-burning capacity during the first 2 to 4 hours after you wake up, thanks to the natural overnight fast you have just completed. Insulin is low, growth hormone is higher, and your fat cells are primed to release their stored energy. To take full advantage of this window, avoid sugary cereals, toast, pastries, fruit juice, and sweetened coffee drinks in the morning. Instead, build your breakfast around protein and healthy fats. Eggs cooked in butter, smoked salmon, full-fat plain yogurt, or a small portion of grass-fed beef are all excellent choices. These foods keep insulin suppressed for hours, which extends the time your body spends pulling fuel from fat rather than from your last meal. A short fasted walk after waking, even just 10 or 15 minutes around the block, can amplify this effect even further by emptying remaining glycogen and pushing your body deeper into fat-burning mode. If you stack these habits together day after day, your body becomes a remarkably efficient fat-burning machine. The 12 signs we covered today are quiet reminders that real progress is unfolding, even on the days when the mirror and the scales seem to disagree. Trust the process, keep an eye out for these subtle clues, and remember that meaningful change shows up slowly but steadily. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you great health, energy, and confidence on your journey.